At the foot of Mount Vesuvius on the western coast of Italy lies the Bay of Naples, renowned for the beauty of its surrounding area and the richness of its marine life. A few years ago, Italian journalist and marine researcher Eleonora de Sabata, following a tip from local divers, discovered a true living treasure in one of the bay's underwater reefs. Together with Eleonora, we dive to a depth of 40 meters to witness with our own eyes a sight that is becoming increasingly rare in the Mediterranean Sea.
These curious objects, often called mermaids' purses, are shark eggs, cradles of life for some of the dozens of shark species living in the Mediterranean. Some sharks might be nearby right now, but it's not us who are in danger here. It's the sharks, silently struggling for survival in their own habitat.
In the crevices of this underwater reef live nursehound sharks, a species harmless to humans and crucial for the marine ecosystem. Each can be identified by a unique pattern of specks. Eleonora takes a note. She has assigned each shark a personal name, but her observations reveal that instead of increasing, the local shark population is collapsing.
When we started this survey, you could find hundreds of egg cases in this area. Now, 10 years later, there's only dozens. Sadly, this is something that has happened everywhere in the Mediterranean Sea. It's not that there are people who are actively catching sharks, but they get entangled in nets and hooks that are meant for other species, and then we change their environment a lot. They need quiet, they need places where the baby sharks can rest, can shelter, and can find food, and we've transformed every coastal area, so they're not doing too well.
Since the 1970s, the shark population in the northern Tyrrhenian Sea has plummeted by 99%. Yet this crisis often remains unnoticed. The Livorno Aquarium participates in the EU-funded Life European Sharks, which aims to educate Europeans of all ages about sharks and their close relatives, rays. Many believe that sharks' sinister image may be hindering efforts towards their conservation.
Questi animali devono emigrare da quello che era un significato negativo dato dalla cinematografia passata a un significato invece molto più sostenibile e molto più incentrato sull'ambiente per il ruolo importantissimo ecologico che hanno a livello ambientale.
The cultural shift must also extend to culinary choices. Sharks in European waters are often caught by accident and are considered low-value fish. However, this bycatch can be sold in areas such as Livorno, where consuming shark meat is a tradition. Eleonora de Sabata, who leads the Life European Sharks project, works with fishermen to ensure that protection measures are respected and that at least smaller sharks are released alive. Many restaurateurs are sympathetic. Sustainably caught local fish can perfectly well substitute shark meat, even in traditional dishes like the famous Livorno fish stew, caciucco.
Cerchiamo di utilizzare altre tipologie di pesce, ma non più lo squalo, proprio per sostenere la riproduzione della specie.
Shark-free caciucco remains just as delicious. A small but meaningful step towards preserving European shark populations. But there's still a long journey ahead to achieve this goal.
It's complicated to reverse the decline of sharks in the Mediterranean Sea because the only solution will be to stop fishing, and that is impossible for a number of reasons. So our approach is to try and focus on the human element and change the perspective on sharks from being dangerous to endangered. Each and every one of us can actually do something tangible to help sharks recover.
It's a challenging task, but there's good reason to hope that by working together, things can be made better. Fuerteventura, one of the Canary Islands, isn't just a hotspot for beachgoers and scuba divers. It's also one of the last strongholds for an amazing species that used to be common along European shores, the angel sharks. They look a lot like rays and live in shallow waters, which has made them all too common as accidental catches in bottom trawling.
Now they are classified as a critically endangered species, so it's as bad as it can get for a species before it disappears. But the good news is that now that we are paying more attention to them again, they are starting to appear again in a lot of places, which is very exciting. We established citizen science reporting map so that all the divers that were going into the water, if they would see an angel shark, they could report it to us.
Eva Meyers leads the Angel Shark Project, a joint effort by European research groups to study and safeguard these species. A big part of their work relies on citizen science, like this dive centre that reports every encounter with angel sharks.
We can say we saw an angel shark at this dive site, in these depths. He was acting like this. It was a male, a female. The water temperature, it's like a swarm intelligence, and we can help.
They're telling us more about the habitat, they're telling us about the threats. They're the ones actually taking care of the sharks in their areas. They're the guardians of the angels.
We're joining the Angel Shark Project team to explore one of the local habitats of this species. Studying such sites might reveal ways to revive their populations in the Northeast Atlantic and the Mediterranean Sea. Working with the team is Felipe Ravina Olivares, who transitioned from a Canarian marine scientist to a pro underwater videographer. His documentaries are a rallying cry for protecting the environment and the unique marine life of the archipelago, including the angel sharks.
Aquí en Canarias, como no tenemos pesca de arrastre, han podido sobrevivir y tenemos una población estable, los vemos durante todo el año, vemos crías, vemos adultos y es algo increíble. Para mí es un orgullo enorme y mi trabajo consiste en eso, en hacerle saber a la gente la importancia del angelote y que tenemos que cuidarlo porque es un tesoro único en el mundo.
The team tags any shark they find to better understand their habitats and migration paths. Thanks to data gathered by both professionals and citizen scientists, authorities are increasingly able to protect these sharks from accidental fishing and other threats.
I have a lot of hope. There's been new protected areas being established in different places that are definitely going to help. So I am confident that we're going into the right directions with a few very, very hard challenges ahead of us, though.
The life in our seas relies on a full range of biodiversity, from plankton up to apex predators. Sharks must be saved to keep the ocean healthy.